Okay, so just a few days back, maybe around July 30th, Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, he dropped a statement that really set things off. He basically said, and this is the quote getting everyone talking, if Mahathir's two sons cannot account for the source of their immense wealth, then these funds should be returned to the government. Oh. Wow. I mean, when that came out, it felt like a shockwave across the whole country, didn't it? Not just political circles, but everywhere. People are just asking, what's really going on? How deep does this whole thing run? It really landed like a bombshell.
It absolutely did. And what's really fascinating, I think, is that this isn't just, a simple question about money. The Prime Minister's words, they dig right into that very sensitive nerve in Malaysia, the connection between political power and, well, massive wealth accumulation over the years.
Right.
It goes way beyond just the legal side of things. It's hitting on fundamental issues of social fairness and, crucially, public trust. It's touching something quite raw.
Yeah, I can see that. Listening to this, are you also finding yourself with a ton of questions? What's your initial take on this whole development? All right, let's try and unpack this a little. Why would Prime Minister Anwar make such a specific public demand about the former Prime Minister's sons, and on an international stage, no less? That feels, well, quite pointed. It's not just an off-the-cuff remark.
No, definitely not casual. The core message, Anwar's logic, seems pretty clear. He highlighted the sheer scale of the wealth involved. We're talking about figures like Malaysian Mahathir, estimated around 1.2 billion ringgit, and Mirzan Mahathir, who's faced scrutiny over declared assets before. There are even rumors, swirling about the family's total wealth being potentially up to 4 billion ringgit.
4 billion? Wow.
Exactly. And these massive numbers, Anwar argues, raise significant questions that need answers. His position is very direct. If they can't adequately explain where these huge sums came from,
Then the money should go back to the government.
that's his stated position, yes, that those assets should be returned.
So his argument isn't just that they're wealthy, but that the level of wealth is, what, unusual or extraordinary in some way? He's drawing a line there?
Precisely. He used language suggesting it's not just normal business success. And importantly, he did clarify he's not just throwing accusations around arbitrarily. He stated he's left the matter for investigation with the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission.
Ah, the MACC. Okay, so it's officially in their hands now.
Right, which signals a move towards a formal process, beyond just political talk. And you really have to see this in the context of Anwar's broader anti-corruption drive. It's been a cornerstone, really, of his administration's platform. He's been quite critical of the opposition, suggesting that defending individuals linked to what he calls abnormal wealth kind of undermines their own anti-corruption claims. So for Anwar, this looks like it's about showing tangible action, not just rhetoric. He's made statements like, no child of a prime minister or minister should have billions from questionable sources.
Setting a new standard, essentially.
That seems to be the goal. He's framed it as ending a practice he sees as unacceptable.
Okay, that makes sense from his perspective. But then you have Mahathir's side. I remember him saying in the past that his family was actually banned from doing business while he was PM. His narrative was always that his sons became successful after he stepped down. So this current challenge, it flies directly in the face of that long-standing story, right?
Absolutely. It directly confronts that defense. It puts the onus, very publicly, back onto the family to substantiate those claims about how this immense wealth was legitimately acquired, especially given the timeline Mahathir himself presented previously.
Yeah, the public pressure must be immense. And speaking of the public, well, as soon as the story broke, Malaysian netizens just exploded. I was looking through comment sections, and wow, the reactions were all over the place. But so many were just incredibly direct, almost raw emotion coming through.
That's a really important dimension here, the public reaction. You're right. The online comments give us a vivid snapshot of the complex feelings Malaysians have about these issues. For instance, you saw quite a few comments expressing a sort of satisfaction, maybe? Things like, Grandpa and his kids are nervous now, haha.
Right, that captures a certain mood.
It does. It hints at this underlying public suspicion, maybe a feeling that this scrutiny is long overdue or even deserved. The idea that they're nervous suggests doubt about the origins of the wealth. And then there was also really strong support voiced for the government's call for a proper investigation and, crucially, for getting the money back if it was illicit. We saw things like, investigate thoroughly, don't let him off.
Yeah, quite forceful.
And also comments like, ways to act while he's still around. There's a real sense of urgency there, a public desire for decisive action, not just talk. People want accountability, and they want it now.
It's interesting, too, some of the comments, especially I noticed from Chinese netizens, had this almost cinematic feel. Like people saying, dong, 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 dong. You're like, dun, 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 dun. The war has begun. It feels like people see this as a major drama unfolding.
Yeah, there's definitely a sense of public theater around it. People are watching very closely, anticipating the next development. It highlights how invested people are in these high-level political narratives. But, it wasn't all just cheering or demanding action. This also brings up a really crucial point about the legal framework and public trust in it. Some netizens raised deeper concerns about policy. I saw one comment that really stuck out, saying something like, strongly disagree with the idea that returning corrupt money means no jail time. This will encourage everyone to commit corruption, as they'll be innocent anyway, clearly encouraging corruption.
Ah, right. So the concern is about deterrence.
Exactly. It shows this public worry about the effectiveness of anti-corruption measures. Is just getting the money back enough? Or does there need to be stronger punishment, like jail time, to actually deter corruption effectively?
That's a very valid point. People want to see real consequences, not just financial settlements, perhaps.
It suggests that for true public trust, the system needs to demonstrate not just recovery, but also accountability and deterrence through the legal process itself.
So, okay, we have this whole spectrum then. People feeling maybe some vindication, others pushing for really strong action, and some quite concerned about the actual mechanisms of justice. But underneath it all, the common thread seems to be this deep desire for a more transparent, a fairer Malaysia. People are watching these big political moments very, very closely, hoping for real change.
Absolutely. And if we step back and look at the bigger picture, this whole public questioning over wealth, it's really more than just about specific individuals or their families. You could argue it represents a kind of collective reflection happening in Malaysia, a questioning of the long-standing ways elite wealth has been accumulated, especially as the country navigates this period of transformation.
A national conversation almost.
In a way, yes. The widespread public desire for stronger anti-corruption measures isn't just about getting funds back. It's fundamentally about rebuilding trust. Trust in state institutions. Trust that national resources are actually used for the benefit of everyone, not just siphoned off by a powerful few. It's a challenge to those historical patterns of power and wealth.
So it really has moved beyond just, political attacks or point scoring. It's become a much deeper question about the country's future path, about integrity, economic fairness.
Precisely. It touches on the fundamental direction Malaysia wants to take. And for anyone trying to understand Malaysia today, following these debates is so important. It really throws a spotlight on that ongoing tension, the tension between the old power structures and this rising demand for accountability, for transparency in how the country is run.
Yeah.
It's a powerful reminder that these big political statements, they often echo much deeper struggles within society and reflect genuine aspirations for a more equitable future. What happens next in this specific case could really signal a lot about that future.
Wow. Well, we've certainly covered a lot of ground today, really digging into this major story rocking Malaysian politics. From the Prime Minister's incredibly direct words to the outpouring of reactions online, this whole discussion around wealth, power, and justice. It's clearly hitting a nerve for many people. It really speaks to that hope for greater fairness.
It does indeed. And, this whole situation also serves as a good reminder for all of us, really, in this age where information just floods towards us constantly. The ability to think critically, to analyze different voices, and to try and understand the deeper currents beneath the surface headlines, that skill itself is incredibly valuable. It pushes us to look beyond the immediate drama.
That's a great point. Always important to dig deeper. So what do you all think about this situation? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to tell us in the comment section below. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this discussion helpful. We'll see you next time.